Halloween
forever.
Good evening, Steven.
How's it going,
Brian?
We're in that spooky mood. Steve, I got one for you here.
Yeah.
Why did the frog jump under the lawnmower?
Why did the frog jump under the lawnmower? I don't know. I'm not figuring it out.
No. He wanted to commit suicide.
Hey, yeah.
Welcome, boils and ghouls, to a decidedly above par version of Halloween is Forever. I'm Brian.
And I'm Steve of the season.
I thought you were going to say, I'm Count Stevula.
No.
No, listen, he committed suicide. You get it? You understand what I'm saying here?
Oh.
And let me remind you guys that above par is bad in the game of golf. So that's why I said above par, because when people say, "Oh, it's not good, it's below par." The below par is good, guys. And we're going to get deep into the rules of golf today because we have a vaguely golf-themed horror movie today. We're going to be talking about Bigfoot Ben, a.k.a. Bigfoot Ben, a.k.a. Big Top Ben. We are talking about his punishment movie from the November Showdown. We're going to be talking about either 1988 or 1989, depending on who you ask. Slasher comedy, I guess.
Yeah.
Movie called Blades. But of course, before we do that, we got a lot of, and also I do want to say, get it out of the way right off the bat. Bigfoot Ben was going to be on for the punishment episode. We had a scheduling conflict, as does happen sometimes. And I want to say, first of all, Ben, fuck you, you son of a bitch, because you did not give us anything even remotely spooky season in vibe. You gave us a fucking golf horror movie. So fuck you, son of a bitch, for that. Mm-hmm. And also fuck you a second time because this movie fucking blows. Which I get. It's a punishment, but double fuck you.
I actually didn't hate it that much. So
it's so boring.
It's fucking boring, and it's badly acted and everything. But I mean, comparatively, the last time he gave us a punishment film, it was Bigfoot Goes to Hell. I mean, comparatively, we got off pretty easy. There's a couple funny moments in this.
I guess this wasn't painful necessarily to watch, but this movie, and I don't want to spoil too much of it, this movie just could have been a tweet.
Yeah.
You know how they say like, hey, this conference call could have been an email. Well, this whole movie could have been a tweet. And the tweet is, Jaws? What if instead of a shark in the ocean, it was a lawnmower on a golf course?
Yeah.
You got it. You got the whole joke there. That's all you need. And they tried to make that into a feature-length film.
Yeah. I couldn't stop thinking about how like this would work as like a 5-minute YouTube video where they made a parody and, I don't know, it was like a College Humor parody from 2004 or whatever.
Sure.
It just, it doesn't need to be an hour 40 because
first of all, how dare they make this movie, first of all, and fuck your face for making this 1 second over the 90-minute mark.
Yeah.
The audacity.
Insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, we get it. We know what you're doing. You're making a parody of Jaws. Just cut it down.
Yeah. This should have been a tight hour and 24 minutes. But instead, they had the audacity to drag it on.
Should have been 77 minutes.
That would have been fine with me. But the audacity to draw it out to over an hour and 40 is fucking insane. All right, I'm getting off on a tangent. I'm getting ornery. I'm getting fired up. I'm getting pissed.
Yeah.
But we got to do some things before we talk about the actual movie. Steven, this spooky late October evening, what are you sipping on? You slurping on a little brewski over there?
No brewski. It's sidey time.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
We talked about the Angry Orchard, whatever it was, the party pack.
The Friday the 13th pack?
Yeah, the Friday the 13th pack. And I feel like we've left the audience on a cliffhanger because the last we heard about it, it was you saying the berry one is fucking trash. So,
bad.
But I happen to be out. I found a new kind of beer spot to buy from. And there's a Shop and Save not far from me. And Shop and Save has an interesting amount of things in their mix and match. And one of them was the one Angry Orchard that actually has Jason on the label and is the blood orange one. So I picked that up. And I figured, hey, there's 2 or 3 Jason references in this movie. I said, hey, why not? Let's just pull this in. I don't hate it. It's not terrible. It's not great.
No, that's kind of how I felt about it.
Yeah.
I think the berry one was dog shit. The just pumpkin spice one was delicious. The cinnamon one, which was like an extra cinnamony, almost, I think they were almost going for like a hot cinnamon kind of thing, like a fireball-ish.
Yeah.
But it wasn't that cinnamony, but I thought was very pleasant. And then I think the blood orange was fine.
Yeah, the blood orange tastes like almost like flat Mountain Dew is where I'm at with it.
I could see that. Yeah. I could see that. I wanted it to be a little more tart. But the sweetness, blood orange and like really sweet just never go well for me, Yeah,
I don't find it cloyingly sweet. It does have like a little that associated bitterness that you have with blood orange. And so like maybe it's like a different edition of Mountain Dew, the one that has like a Valencia or a blood orange to it. So I'm going a little seasonal beverage as well here. I am drinking a beer that I actually grabbed a case of for my Halloween party that you slept through last night. The Shipyard Pumpkinhead, which is an old school pumpkin beer that's been around for a long time, from a lovely Shipyard Brewing Company. And I was like, I need something that's got a full case of pumpkin beer. Got a lot of people coming, have a lot of different beers. I want to have one of them be a pumpkin beer. The Jacko I like, it's fine. But I saw this. I said, you know what? I haven't had that beer in a while. Picked up a case of it for the party. And there were a few left over. So I'm drinking on those. And this is just a real nice surprise. It's a nice beer. It is quite a bit paler than I remember. And just like light and crisp and dry and just has like a not overwhelming pumpkin character to it. It's obviously very much pumpkin spice, but not overwhelming. And it's just lovely. And I'm just slugging on a couple of those. And I got my nice little Halloween mug with my spooky trick-or-treaters on it. And I'm just it's the wind's howling outside, and I'm just tucking in for a nice little spooky late October evening. I said I don't got to go to work tomorrow. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm gonna tuck into a couple 2-3 of these. Maybe put on something weird tonight. That's my plan. Yeah, I think. Oh yes, I think it's the smashed pumpkin I don't love from Shipyard. I remember I used to like the Pumpkinhead, and it's been a while since I've had anything from Shipyard.
Me too.
Yeah.
Just a nice little crispy little pumpkin ale. Nothing wrong with it. Okay. We got a couple of more things that we got to do. First of all, this past week, Yin's out there in social media land helped us vote on what our, believe it or not, November. We're already talking about November coming up here pretty damn soon. Our November Showdown episode is going to, or Showdown topic rather, is going to be Stephen, do you want to remind the boils and ghouls at home what the topics that were up for grabs were?
Yeah, so the three categories that we had were Mall Madness, anime horror features, and non-Kane Hodder, non-Jason Kane Hodder films, not non-Kane Hodder.
Non-Kane Hodder Jason movies.
Which is...
We explicitly want to steer clear of Kane Hodder. No, non-Jason Kane Hodder films. Yeah. So did you tabulate all the various voting scenarios and do we have a winner?
I did and would do. And the answer I actually think is kind of appropriate considering going into November.
Sure.
The audience picked Mall Madness. And so you think November, everybody's doing their Christmas shopping. You got the Black Friday in there. Everybody's getting it started. I already see fuck ass Christmas decorations in the Dollar Tree.
Oh, I'm seeing fuck ass Christmas commercials on the television.
Ooh.
It's still 2 weeks to Halloween. Come on.
That's bullshit.
Come on. Get your shit straight, guys. I like a Christmas. I love a Christmas horror movie. I love a spooky Christmas stuff. That's all well and good. Slow your fucking roll. Let Halloween get behind us, for God's sakes. Yes, I like that. Mall Madness. It's we have some commerce happening, some shopping happening in November. So let's talk about the mall. Let's talk about getting your allowance, going down there to Spencer's, buy something with boobies on it. That's my plan for November. Okay, Mall Madness. We're talking about any horror movie that has some sort of mall relate. I already got a couple in my head. A couple of them that might be a little predictable, right? But I think there's a couple other ones that might come out of the woodwork for this. So if you've got suggestions for mall themed or movies that perhaps heavily feature a shopping mall environment, shoot us over a suggestion on the social media. Slide in the old DMs if you want to. It's at Halloween's Forever on all the various social media platforms. Or if you want to shoot us one of them old-fashioned emails as well, you can do so at halloweensforeverpod@gmail.com. You probably should follow us.
Yeah.
We get a lot of new listeners this time of year. Follow us. We do some spooky, ooky shit on the internet every damn tasty, sticky, sweet content on a Monday. Every Monday. However, the first Monday of every month is when we do the Showdown episode. So now that you have voted on it, me, Steve, and whoever our guest is going to be, or perhaps our collective Patreon community will pick a movie associated with Mall Madness topic. We'll watch all of them. We'll somebody's going to get put in the Boston Crab. Somebody's going to get, the torture rack and eventually slam through some tables. It's going to be a fucking slobber knocker, you guys. And somebody's going to take home that Summation Championship strap for the month of November. Ben is currently holding the belt, and that's why we're watching this dog shit punishment movie tonight.
Boo.
All right, Steve. One other thing before we get to talking about Blades. What's going on over on the Patreon? We got a couple of little spicy tidbits coming up here pretty darn quick, right?
Yeah. So I want to start by talking about one of the things you get on our Patreon is you get an extra vote in all these polls.
Yeah.
And, the patrons, they pick, usually what happens is the patrons and the Instagram, they kind of are at odds at each other. And that's why I got to do math. But I didn't have to do too much math because Instagram and Patreon, both agreed this month. But in that poll, one of our patrons, and I'm not going to, call them out by name, put them on blast or anything, but they said, I want Mall Madness, but it can't be Chopping Mall. And I was like, oh well, we don't have control over that because our guest might pick it or one of the other patrons might pick it. I don't have control over that. But now that you've said that, it can't be Chopping Mall and it has one, now you have to submit an alternative. You can't,
right?
You have to suggest. You have to make a suggestion of an alternative. Can't just say it can't be. You gotta say it can't be, but could it be?
Yeah, come to us not with problems, but with solutions. We're solution oriented over here at the podcast. I am curious, was it because Chopping Mall is the first mall horror movie you think of, or was it this person has a particularly a bone to pick with Chopping Mall? Because if so, we might have a little fist fight on our hands, because I love a chopping mall. I love a chopping mall.
Well, there's no chopping in the mall, but
there is. Okay, guys,
but there's still Dick Miller. I'm not going to argue. I'm not trying to argue with you. We don't have to.
There is no chopping in Chopping Mall. Yeah. That is a fact. That is the first. That's how, like, when people go Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, there's not even Michael Myers in it. No shit, Dick Tracy. It's still a fucking great movie. Same thing with Chopping Mall.
I don't see it the same way, because Halloween 3 still occurs at Halloween, and it is about the Season of the Witch. So Michael Myers isn't in the title. If it was Halloween 4, The Revenge of Michael Myers, and it didn't have Michael Myers, then you got a case. Just like Chopping Mall. Chopping Mall says chopping in the title, and then there's no chopping. Yeah. It's lasers.
Well, you could say it is almost exclusively lasers, but I will say, or electrocution. Mm-hmm. Old Dick Miller does get electrocuted, I will say you could be referring to chopping as in offing somebody, right? Mm-hmm. It's just a killer mall scenario. Now, the mall is not necessarily the killer. It's the dang security robots run amok in the mall.
Right.
But I'm not going to argue semantics with you rat fucks over Chopping Mall. It's a classic. It's a genre classic, and I won't hear any other arguments about it.
Yeah. I don't hate it either, but maybe the question is, like, is that a little too obvious? It might be. That would be my concern. There are other movies to pick, and we might dig a little deeper into mall related horror. All right. We are doing some other fun stuff on the Patreon. As always, we're getting ready to record our October episode of The 90s is Forever. Yes.
Yeah. Which is a lot of fun. And if you subscribe, give us your $5. Give us your paper money. Over on patreon.com/Halloween's Forever, you get an entire extra episode every damn month of our Patreon exclusive podcast. Plus, you get all the backlog of a bajillion hours of content of us watching a bunch of shitty right-wing Christian propaganda horror movies. They're dog shit, but they're fun to talk about. Don't watch them. If you want to watch them, steal them. Mm-hmm. Remember that. Don't give anybody money for them. And then also before that, Steve made me watch all the Fast and the Furious movies, which also fucking suck. Don't watch them. If you choose to watch them, steal them. Remember that. Steal those movies. And then listen to us, talk about how they're dog shit. But give us your $5. And then you can also join us here live as we record on the Discord and interact with us and chat us up and give us suggestions and things like that.
Yep.
As we record every damn episode.
And we are, on the back half of 31 Days of Horror as of this episode coming out. And I'll say just as a call out, we passed the October the 18th, and for my write up for 31 Days of Horror was another Dick Miller film, Tales from the Crypt, Demon Night. As
Demon Night,
the director Ernest Dickerson, he was a part of the Brooklyn Horror Film Festival, and they presented him along with a 30th anniversary viewing of Demon Night. They presented him with the second ever Leviathan Award. The first went to good old Larry Fessenden last year.
Love a Larry Fessenden. That's an eclectic group. Only 2 years in. I like that a lot. Maybe next year. Well, first of all, I think Billy Zane might have gotten getting the short shrift in this entire conversation, because he didn't get he didn't get an award. And also, you said Dick Miller, and Billy Zane prominently featured.
I know. I'm just saying. I was making connections. Things.
I know. I'm for some reason coming to the rescue of one Billy Zane, because he needs me. One Mr. Billiam Zane.
Look, that's very clear in my write up that is a Billy Zane movie. First and foremost, it doesn't matter that Dick Miller.
It's a Billy Zane vehicle.
Yeah, and I mean it's got a killer cast overall, because it's William Sadler, Jada Pinkett Smith before she was Smith. and Thomas Hayden Church is in there, and then Dick Miller, of course. So like, yeah, it's a killer cast, but man, that's such a fucking Billy Zane movie, and God, he's so wonderful in it. I don't know that.
Also, one quick thing before I forget, keep my wife's name out of your mouth.
I don't know that he could get the award though, because it was for the Brooklyn Film Fest, and Larry Fess and Ernest Dickerson, a couple of New York guys.
Couple of Brooklynites.
Couple of New York guys.
A couple of real New York guys. Yeah, no, I was just being a smart ass. I just like to bestow as much praise on Billy Zane as humanly possible.
Yeah.
Okay. Check us out over there. Do yourself a favor. Listen, here's what I'm going to propose to you, and then I'm going to shut up about the Patreon. Go cancel one of your stupid subscriptions. You got 50,000 of them. Half of them suck shit. You never watch them. Go delete one of your subscriptions that's $10.99. Give us $5 a month of that. You're still saving $5.99 a month. It's a deal. You're stupid if you don't take advantage of a deal like that. Give us your money.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yes, money, please.
Anything else before we get into Blades?
No.
And I'm going to say from 1988.
Yeah.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, I mean,
I saw a couple different ones. I don't know.
Yeah, it says 88 on IMDb. I'm assuming that's when the film kind of first premieres, and then it's a film that's distributed by Troma. So when you watch it on the Tubi, it has the wonderful Troma tag at the front, which I think is the best part of the movie. But yeah, it's one of those movies that just like struggled to find distribution because it was made by a bunch of nobodies. Like nobody asked for this. Nobody commissioned this. And so
nobody wanted this. Nobody watched this.
Yeah.
I will be clear. It's not bad. And they do a pretty good job with it. I mean, production value is not great, but could have been worse.
Mm-hmm.
I will say that. Anyway, let's get into it. Right. So this movie was directed by one Mr. Thomas R. Rondinella, which sounds like a made up name of somebody who's pretending to be a director. He does not have a ton of credits, and by not a ton in the feature film arena, he directed 2 movies. He directed this one, and he directed another one a scant 5 years later in the year of our Lord 1993 called A Girl's Guide to Sex, which it is that Letterboxd usually has a fairly robust like plot summary. Maybe it's a paragraph or something like that. For this movie, it just says college girls are learning life.
So A Girl's Guide to Sex is a TV movie, and I can't imagine it's like a very like I assume it was made for a purpose as a TV movie.
Jerking off to it.
Probably could be.
Yeah.
Interestingly, it stars Catherine Dent, who I don't know how many people are going to connect with that name, but she was on The Shield.
Yeah, you might recognize her face if you see it. She's been in a lot of TV, quite a few movie credits as well. Yeah, you might recognize her face. I would never have placed her on The Shield unless you said that. I just think she's like a TV face that I've seen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she's a TV face. She's been in a lot of stuff. She's mostly like one episode appearances, but like she was on The Shield for a long time. And then actually she was later on another TV show called Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. For a couple episodes. I think they're just being silly doing that. Yeah, so this guy, Thomas R. Rondinella, which I think sounds like the Italian way of trying to sound professional. He would just, he's like, I put my middle initial in there and then I sound very, very, very important.
Yeah. If I have a middle initial and maybe I add Esquire then, because I don't know what that means, but I know it's fancy.
Yeah. No, don't call me Tommy. I'm not Tommy over here. I'm Thomas R. Rondinella. he gets his start as an editor. Yeah. And so he
much more editor and producer credits.
Right. Yeah. He worked as an editor first. And then I assume this is his turn to go, okay, well, I've edited all these movies. I guess I have what it takes to direct a movie. And that's, debatable considering he isn't a director anymore. But he is still currently working as a producer. So
nice.
So, I mean, you can't fault him. He just, he's put out, a couple short films called Admit It, an Inciting Incident in just this year.
No shit.
Yeah. And then he's listed as a producer on a movie called Against the Spread from 2024.
Okay.
It's not a horror movie. It's just, but yeah, he's still out there living his dreams, I guess. I can only assume that he was independently wealthy before any of this and just has like kept his money circulating. I get. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah.
He's got some movies he's involved with that all have some very promising and very horny titles, and I'll go through just a couple of them here real quick because I love them, and they've got some solid posters as well. We've got a movie called Girls' School Screamers. We've got a movie called Lust for Freedom, which is a really wild drawn cover. He's got an angle that he's going for, right? Blades. I watched it on the Tubi. But it's on Screambox as well. It's out there on a variety of streaming channels. You're not going to have a hard time finding it. The cast is, I think, really almost exclusively unknown to me. I don't think there's one person in this cast that I recognize.
Same. I tried to find something. Okay. I was like, nope. There's one guy, and he's in the Beastmaster movie from 82.
Yeah. Okay.
And I don't even remember his fucking part. So
the guy who plays Roy, which is one of the he's kind of the main protagonist here. His name's Robert North. He has a very classic Hollywood look to him. He looks like he could have been, a 40s, 50s movie star just based on his looks. And just like body shape. He's just got that like V-shaped torso and like very kind of classically handsome butt chin looking guy. And I was like, oh, he's got to be in a bunch of stuff, right? I looked on there. Nope. This was his only film credit. And he was also the producer, co-producer of 2 movies, executive producer of 2 films, Deathstalker 3, The Warriors from Hell, which I've seen Deathstalker, a lot of fun. Never saw the third one.
Yep.
And Barbarian Queen 2, The Empress Strikes Back, which is a horny barbarian movie. So feels like maybe he was just a buddy of the director, perhaps. So
you have to assume it's such a weird collection of credits, and only to be 3 of them. So like he puts the money forward for these fucked up straight to video horny barbarian movies, but then also says, but I can play a guy, I can play a golf, and like he doesn't have like not even a single like TV credit of like being a background cowboy on like Gunsmoke or some shit, which is where you would expect somebody with a face like his to be. But no,
sure. Or I thought maybe the idea was like, okay, he plays a golf pro, so like they might actually have some shots of him playing golf, and they need somebody to look like they know how to swing a club. And no, I don't think I saw him swing a club once in the movie. There's no evidence to suggest that he actually even plays golf or is a golf pro in the movie. I do think that he is the club pro, but I think the club pro of fucking, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. So the movie kicks off with, on a strong note, you get horny teens and Doritos.
Hell yeah.
And I'm in for it. I'm here for it. Classic Dorito bag, classic horny teens out in the woods, hanging around, partying, making out underwater, just doing wild shit out on the golf course, right? We get to hole 13, which you would suggest, I think would be quite an unlucky hole. Don't worry, that never comes back. But there's this kid, which we don't get to know him or his girlfriend. His name is Dawn. Dawn is essentially teenage Al Bundy. He does not want to have sex with his girlfriend. He is bothered that she is trying to have sex with him. It's a real role reversal. She's trying to get him to give it up. He's not interested. He's like annoyed by the whole thing. He's really playing hard to get. And then we get essentially the first of many off-screen M. Night Shyamalan The Happenings. They just keep The Happening people. Remember that promo for The Happening where the guy lays down and a mower goes over him? That's what happens in this movie over and over and over and over again. And most of the time, unfortunately, it is off screen.
I am so happy you brought that up. I mean, there's no way you wouldn't, just because it's so obvious with this film. But I swear to God, after watching it, I think M. Night was inspired by this movie. And
of course,
it was just an image that stuck with him. Because, I mean, even in the origin story of the mower, we're told that, the mower, its first victim was called a suicide. And I was like, oh no, M. Night actually, this he's a Philadelphia kid. This is a movie from New Jersey that he probably saw. Like it was probably a movie, like it had distro into mom and pop video shops in that tri-state area. Like it never came out this way, which is why none of us saw it. But like, it would have been of the time. He's a bit older than us, so he would have been able to, pick up that movie at the time it was out on shelves, and he saw it, and it stuck with him for the entirety of his life. Of just like, oh, what if he was a suicide? What if the lawnmower did kill him? What if he just laid down in front of a mower and died? And then he wrote The Happening around the one scene from this movie that stuck in his head.
He made a movie that should have been a tweet. He took one scene from it and turned it into an entire feature-length film that could, still to this day, I mean, goes down history as one of the top 10 worst horror movies ever made, which is The Happening. Which I saw in theaters. I went and paid money to see it when it came out. Took a date to it. It was rough. Although extremely memorable experience because people were talking. I don't remember if some of you, what year was The Happening? I mean, this had to be
2006, 7 or 8. I'd throw it in there.
I would say it's got to be at least, I would say between 15 and 20 years ago. And I remember taking a girl to go see this movie. She was a horror movie fan. Obviously, I'm a horror movie fan. And everyone was talking it up like it is the scariest movie of all time. Like if you're a little younger, you maybe wouldn't remember the promotion of this movie. This is a part of the reason why it bombed so hard is because it's so not scary. And there's a couple of impactful scenes, fine, whatever. But the fact that they talked it up like it now these days, that's pretty common. I feel like all the we're back in the almost exploitation days of horror where people were like, every other movie, this is the scariest movie of all time. They love to say that nowadays. Back then, like people were like, oh wow, bold move to say that, right? In 2000 and whenever. And it really fucking wasn't. It really fucking wasn't. But he did take this that one scene and turn it into an entire fucking movie.
Thus cursing us with now 3 hours because he's doubled up from this movie. There's now 3 cursed hours of lawnmower inspired garbage that just like you don't have to watch in your life.
And 2 of the worst people in the world in starring in The Happening, which is of course Zooey Deschanel, perhaps one of the most annoying human beings to ever fucking live.
I like her.
And well, that makes one of us. And then Mr. 9/11 wouldn't have happened if I was on the plane.
Hey,
Mark Wahlberg. God, I fucking hate that guy.
Hey, stay blessed up on Halo.
fucking hate that guy so much. Anyway, this movie is full of off-screen deaths, and as the great Joe Bob Briggs would say, gratuitous lawnmower POV. I mean, it is chocked full of lawnmower POV. Anyway, so we get introduced to a couple of different people here. We first get introduced to some teens that die, right, in the opening sequence. Then we have Kelly. Kelly is the assistant golf pro at oh boy, I forgot to write down the name of it. What's it called? It's what's the name of the club?
Oh, I didn't write it down either.
Does not matter at all. But she's it's a country club. She's the assistant golf pro. She came up from a caddy. She's worked there a long time. She believes she's going to become the golf pro at the club. We get introduced to Norman and Beatrice Osgood, who own the golf course. Norman is like a shithead, unscrupulous businessman. Beatrice, his wife, is a sexual predator, aka also not aka. Also, she is a golfer. She's like the golfer of the two of the couple, and she basically just like harasses the help. And Norman is just a fucking dunce, and she's just constantly saying super suggestive, hypersexualized things to every not even just her staff, but literally every single man in the movie all the time.
Just every man all the time. She is, like it's called Tallgrass, the country club, but
Tallgrass,
it's basically just like a gift from her business husband to her to have her own little kingdom to be a tyrant of. So she can play golf and grab a couple other strokes, if you know what I mean.
Oh, there's a lot of stroke jokes in this movie. Roy comes swaggering in, and Roy and Kelly have some tension right off the bat because we learned that they hired Roy. They hired the job that Kelly thought was hers right out from under her to Roy, and basically it was Beatrice. Because she already knew him. He was a struggling, semi-pro golfer with an alcohol problem. And she hired him on as the club pro so she could bang him basically on the side. And Kelly, not that happy about this. So now Kelly is his assistant, which she's not happy about. So we get out to the golf course that morning and we find a not just mutilated corpse, but literally pieces of a corpse scattered and buried throughout a sand trap. Which is, we started fast and hard on this movie and I'm excited at this point. Yeah. I'm like, this is going to be gory. Some crazy shit's going to happen. Of course, for some reason, this corpse in the sand trap is like the club's pros problem. So they're going, you got to take care of this. We get introduced to some wacky greenskeepers and, other help around the club. We see some creepy guy hanging around in the background. Who's that? We don't know yet. We get introduced to Chief Kimmel, who's the chief of police, local chief of police, who is not concerned at all. And of course, Osgood, what's his name? Is it Norman? Right, Norman, the husband of the woman of Beatrice, who's constantly just trying to fuck everybody. He wants to keep it quiet so the club doesn't have to close because they have a big televised golf charity tournament this weekend, and there's a lot of this talk of it's television. He keeps making this point of like, it's television. We got TV cameras coming. So he's going to do everything in his power to keep it open. Again, when I say this is Jaws on the golf course, it is a parody of Jaws through and through. They're not trying to hide it. It is a surface level parody of Jaws on the golf course.
Yeah. It's one for one, like the Norman is the mayor. The creepy guy who stands around in the background. He's going to be our Quint.
Yep.
Roy, his name is Roy, as in Roy Scheider. Like, that's who he's playing.
Yeah.
The only one that kind of doesn't fit, actually, is Kelly, because she doesn't have, like, she has golf expertise kind of the same way that Richard Dreyfuss's character does.
Yeah, I would say she's the hooper, but she's not as 1-to-1 as the other ones.
Yeah,
like you said, because Deke, who we haven't met yet, Deke is Quint. I mean, he does Quint like dialogues.
Yeah,
as well. Like it's going to be $20,000 in the whole thing to catch what we come to find out is a sentient, murderous lawnmower. If you haven't figured that out yet, and then of course this is Brody is Roy. He's kind of the like. He's kind of running from his demons, not running from his past, and just like wants to not rock the boat. He just wants to just live his life here, and he's thrust into this situation. So this is how nonchalant they are about the murder. So much so that when they go back to have a drink in the club, and you've got your Roy, you got your Kelly, and they both. We have this side plot that doesn't really tidy up too much. I guess maybe it does a little bit in a not so tidy way, but it is, they both are, Roy has an alcohol problem, and that has caused him to kind of lose his confidence in his golf game. And that's why he is where he is. And Kelly, being younger, but is working on an alcohol problem of her own. And I don't know, felt a little too serious for a movie about a killer lawnmower. I don't know. It didn't really need to be in there. But they're back at the club having a drink and kind of like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. What are we going to do? And Osgood comes in and he's like, I know circumstances weren't exactly right for your first meeting, which was when they found a corpse in the sand trap. So why don't you have a drink and introduce each other, blah, blah, blah. We then get introduced to this kindly old gentleman golfing with his dog named Mal Simpkins. And we, for some reason, I'll jump right to it. Mal becomes another victim of the mower. But for some reason, we get way more I guess they want us to have some feelings for Mal because he has a dog. He's this kindly old elderly gentleman. And he's kind to Roy, and he knows who Roy is. And I thought, well, okay, maybe Mal is a red herring. Perhaps Mal is going to come back around, and he's going to have something to do with the broader story. No, Mal's just a gentle old guy who they just want you to, I guess, like or care about, and then they murder him off screen too. And it's just, God damn it, what a strange and stupid and lazy decision that was. But so Mal gets an off-screen death, at which point I was like, come on, what the fuck?
You wonder if like the actor won a contest and like like won a contest or was like doing Make-A-Wish, because he has
Benjamin Button's disease.
Oh, could be.
And he's actually a little kid with cancer, and this was his Make-A-Wish.
Benjamin Button's like cancer.
He's got two of them. I mean, Benjamin Buttons can have cancer too.
Sure, yeah.
He looks like he's 80, but he's actually dying of like, childhood cancer, and that's why he is getting the Make-A-Wish.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But that's what's happening. I'm convinced.
He's there essentially just for like a shooting day. And then like you said, kill him off screen, and that's somebody else's dog. But it's so bizarre to just bring this character. I thought he was a ghost for a second because he just comes out of the.
I was waiting for that. The way he talks.
Yeah. And like the way he's dressed as well, because he's also dressed kind of like, when you think of like the old Scottish
turn of the century golf.
The old Scottish turn of the century golf. But this movie was too far before the Legend of Bagger Vance for that to be a reference in this film. of, you know, like he's getting met by like this ghost of an old golfer on a course. And I was like, is that what's going on here? Is he just like a ghost?
I thought they were going to go back, to the clubhouse. They were going to go back to the clubhouse and go, oh, I just met Mal Simpkins out on the course. And they'd be like, Mal Simpkins has been dead for 60 years. Yeah, that's what I thought was going to happen. But no.
Yeah, no.
He's a real guy.
He's a real guy who dresses like that and dies terribly.
Gets run over by a lawnmower. And the shitty thing about it, too, is not only do you see him off screen killed, I thought that we were going to find his corpse in a mangled, fucked up state like we did before. And it was going to be like, oh, not poor old Mel. No, or I'm sorry, Mal, because it's Malcolm. No, when they quote unquote discover that he's been murdered, it's just his clothes.
Yeah.
Bloody clothes that aren't even torn up. And I'm like, did Mal get nude and then murdered? Or hear me out. This might make the movie a lot scarier. Did the lawnmower undress Mal or force him to get undressed, sexually assault Mal Simpkins, and then murder him?
It's what you don't see. And it's the lawnmower pulled a gun on him and made him take his clothes off.
Yeah.
And then had its way with him.
Yeah. That's the only thing I can imagine. Otherwise, why is Mal's clothes completely intact but covered in blood? And he was the victim of a lawnmower. It's not adding up. Anyway, we get Roy back at his new place, and Beatrice comes over to fuck Roy and to also tell Roy not to fuck Kelly. She's a real stickler over here. There's only one person that's going to be fucking, only one woman that's going to be fucking at this course, and it's going to be B. Kelly immediately shows up after. I mean, she literally comes over, Beatrice comes over knowing he has an alcohol problem, brings him a bottle of scotch, and is like, all right, I gave you this job, so whip it out.
Time for you to do the job.
Yeah. And then Kelly shows up to apologize to Roy from the way she acted earlier, bringing him an ugly ass plant. And Beatrice, having zero shame, comes to the door in like a nightie and is like, hey, Kelly, I'm fucking Roy. Get the, pound salt.
Yeah.
Hit the bricks, bitch. So yeah, Beatrice, and I should say, I think my favorite character in the movie too, by far.
Yeah.
She's the best.
It's like right behind. It's either her or Deke. I mean, because like
Deke's good too. He's got some good lines.
Yeah, he's got some good lines. I mean, it's just basically because he's just doing Quint, but like the actor.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things about this film is there are no actors in this film except for Deke. Deke, at least has been in other films, and on his IMDb, he'll goes on about how he was a stage trained actor, and you can feel that because he puts a lot into the way his lines are delivered. Whereas Roy and Kelly, who we spend our most time with, could not be less interested in delivering affect into any of their lines.
No matter what Roy says, he looks like a puppy that just peed on the carpet and is in trouble.
Yeah.
Like he has this look in his eyes like he's about to get smacked with a newspaper. Like that is his persona. Yeah, I mean these two, I don't know who's worse. I think Kelly actually might be worse. They're both really fucking bad.
Kelly has some great faces she makes. Like they're not.
She's definitely trying to act more. Yeah. Roy's just trying to remember his lines.
Exactly. Yeah. Kelly makes some great faces that don't always make sense as far as reactions go. But she has some great faces. Roy is just fucking paint. I couldn't. Yeah. And I couldn't care less. I couldn't give less of a shit about their interpersonal relations, and like that's all what should be cut from this film. All this stuff.
Oh, there's so much. There are scenes of them just having conversations at the bar. They're like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah,
that didn't move the story forward at all.
Move it along. What are you doing? Wasting my time.
Yeah. I like Roy as just the mindless fuck machine. He's here to pretend to give golf lessons and to fuck, right? It's so much so that this is before they started getting really into their alcohol problems and all this stuff. Because Roy comes in, and of course Kelly, it's real frosty in there because Kelly came to apologize the night before, found him there with Beatrice and was like, oh, that's why you got the job that I should have gotten, is because you're banging Beatrice. Cool. So she's naturally pretty bummed. And in order to smooth this over with your new employee, Roy's reaction is, can I take you on a date? It's like, Roy, you're going about this all wrong. I understand you're a fuck machine and you were born to do one thing, but that ain't it. That ain't it right now. It is sad, though. And the character of Roy is sad because he was a born fuck machine. And, of course, he'll die a fuck machine. And that's all he knows. And I'm not even convinced he knows how to play golf. He's just there to fuck.
Same. He shoots like a 110. And
yeah, doesn't matter.
But everybody just hears about like, yeah, but he's like 8 inches in wide, so we let him hang around.
He's just got like a giant John Hamm dick.
Yeah,
Yeah, the groundskeeper that's trying to get rid of Mal, the dead guy's dog, is doing a lot of acting every time he's on scene. Every time he's on screen, he's doing some crazy like Jerry Lewis level of physical acting, trying to oh man, he's full on cartoonish. So I did appreciate seeing him on screen whenever we got him. But yeah, so we find the bloody clothes we already talked about. You see this weird groundskeeper, Deke Slade. We eventually get introduced to him. He's just kind of lurking around, and apparently he worked at the club for a long time. They fired him. Nobody really knows necessarily why. And they're just like, oh, why? He's the red herring. He's the one you think is perhaps the killer. But Chief still not concerned. 2 dead bodies now in a 24-hour period. Not that much to get worked up over. Fun scene with the morgue guy coming to pick up the parts of Mal that are all in like hilariously labeled, basically trash bags that he's just throwing in the back of the van like he's loading firewood.
This character is great, but you can also tell he touches the bodies bad. Like,
yeah, watch out for this guy.
Yeah, when you don't die attractive and get picked up by this guy, because he will molest your body.
Yeah. He's got a couple little funny bits. I do like the idea that the first tip off that Roy starts to get about, well, maybe there's something going on here with a murderous lawnmower, is that he finds amongst Mal's bloody belongings, he finds a golf ball that was kind of chewed up by a lawnmower blade, which is a pretty common sight on a golf course. So, right. Because mowers exist on the golf course, whether or not they're murdering people, and they do occasionally run over golf balls on the golf course. So I don't know why that made him suspicious. That seems like one of the most common things you might find on a golf course, but Roy's doing some real sleuthing. He does run into Deke, and Deke is even more sleuthy and knows all about the killer lawnmower. And there's a great line where he's like, they find something on the ground and they like, is it blood? He's like, oh, it's oil. It's a 30 weight. He uses heavier weight this time of year.
It's such a great delivery because like Deke's not even looking at Roy. He's looking off into the distance. He's squinty eyed into the sun. And he's just like, crankcase, 30 weight. Uses heavier weight. Just like he's like immediately, as soon as he starts delivering lines, you're like, oh, this is our Quint. Like just the way he delivers lines. He's just like, crankcase, 30 weight. Got to use heavier type of weight in this time of the year. It's just like,
I love his accent is almost it's not like a Quint accent, right, at all.
No,
it's not like a Mainer type of thing. It's like a at times I thought it was vaguely Cajun, but it's not. It's just like a, I don't know how else to describe it. Yeah, and I feel like I have to listen to it live to try to describe it, because I couldn't put it on paper. But he's got a fairly unique accent,
Mm-hmm.
and he's speaking in obviously very, very, gravelly tone. He's the one who knows the monster and knows what it's thinking and how it acts and that sort of stuff.
Right.
Deke is hanging out in the woods while Roy is doing some of his fuck lessons with all the local ladies, and then Kelly's giving a lesson, and she's very professional. She's very demonstrative. She's hitting golf balls and showing how the ball moves when she hits in different ways and blah, 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 blah. For some reason, there is a kind of a ball spotter, right? It's just a kid, right? It looks like he's maybe 10 years old, 12 years old. And he's just standing out, in the fairway. And she's hitting golf balls to a certain spot and talking about her different swings and stuff. And he's got this little machine that's almost like a dustbuster, but it just sucks up the golf balls.
Yeah.
And I'm like, does that exist, or did they make that up for the movie? Never seen anything like this. Couldn't he just pick them up? Yeah. But he's got this little golf ball sucker upper thing. And every time she hits a ball, he runs over and sucks it up. And then she shows like, okay, if I dip my shoulder, I'm going to hook the ball. And she hooks it like into the tall grass. And he has to go in there and get the ball. And when he goes in there, he gets sucked into the grass as if it's water, right? And just a blood geyser shoots out. Not even a blood geyser, more like a sprinkler.
Yeah.
A blood sprinkler. But the entire, 20-some people standing there watching her during the lesson all see this happening.
Right.
So now shit's really hit the fan.
Everybody freaks out. Everybody starts running in different directions. And this is where I actually start paying attention to the movie. I wasn't paying too hard attention. Like when Deke shows up, I'm like, there's our Quint. Okay. But in this sequence where everybody freaks out and runs away, they cut to just an isolated clip of a cart with a golf bag on it. And the cart with the golf bag is going down a set of stairs as clubs are falling out the back. And I say to myself, is that a fucking Battleship Potemkin reference in this dumbass Jaws parody movie? And I mean, yes, it is. Like it just has to be. Like there's no reason to show that footage, especially when the whole thing is like the whole crowd is erupting. They're doing a parody of the Odessa Steps scene, and I'm just like, okay, hold up. Does this movie have something about it? Because they are being silly now. The whole movie up till this point is kind of fucking boringly plain as a parody.
It's playing pretty straight. There's not many gags.
No.
Like, it's not like it's Airplane. Now, there are points in the movie where it almost feels like that, but not up to this point. It's played pretty straight. And again, Roy and Kelly have negative personality. Like, and that's not true about Kelly. Roy has negative personality, but neither Roy nor Kelly have a inkling of comedy to their performance.
No, not at all. Like, yeah, again, Kelly's comedy comes from the fact that she doesn't know how to control her face properly. Like that. Yeah, that's her comedy.
She's struggling with her face. Her face is getting away from her.
Yeah, but everything else is just like, all the weird slow-mo as people are on the ground, and like, like, oh my god, they're doing Battleship Potemkin, and then
see, I took it as this was the beach scene.
It's that too. Yeah. I mean, it's that too. But like they're making references to other films, because then when we move on, the next thing we get is the same thing of Jaws, where they send all the fishermen out on all their bum ass boats to go hunt the shark, And in this case, it's just a whole bunch of hillbillies show up to the golf course. But in the course of that, they do a Patton reference. As is it the police chief who stands in front of the flag and gives a speech? And you got all these hillbillies jazzed with their, like, it becomes Airplane because this
point is when it starts to get really silly.
Yeah. Because you guys got doing sword fighting across the frame. You got a bunch of hillbillies with shotguns,
with like rapiers too. Not like, you know what I mean? Not like a sword that you would hack them, because they're referring to this as the maniac hunt. They're all here for the maniac hunt.
Yeah.
And they keep specifically calling it, like, quote, the maniac hunt. Because the chief has deputized all these rednecks, and they've got shotguns and all this stuff. And then you slowly see sillier and sillier weapons.
Yeah.
You know, chainsaws and swords. And one guy has a gas mask on.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane shit. Like, they have dogs out there. They're all riding in golf carts. They turn some of the golf carts into, like, Al-Qaeda trucks with American flags flying off the back. And the whole time they're playing Wagner's Flight of the Valkyries, like fucking Apocalypse Now. And then they have a helicopter flyover where a bunch of guys with sticks are, like, waving sticks at the helicopter, like, cheering it on. And it's like, what the fuck is this movie now? Like, it's going from this dead serious to, like, zany bananas.
It is just a straight up parody movie at this point. They even do a very Airplane bit, which is when he's deputizing them all. He goes, "I, your name," and the whole group goes, "I, your name."
Yeah.
Like, do hereby, you know, whatever, when he's deputizing them. You get the helicopter flyover. So they're running around the golf course like maniacs, right? We're trying to find the maniac, and they find Deke. And this is a great line, because he's like, "Oh, you think I did it?" He's like, and they have Deke, like, captured, but then they also have the mower they found Deke with up on a winch like it's a shark, and
strung up like a shark.
Yeah. And he's like, you think I did it? This mower, he's like, that mower's the third the size of the one that's still out there.
Yeah, again, it's doing Jaws. Like, they're talking, it's the same as the bite radius as the shark. They're like,
right,
yeah, this mower don't have the teeth for it. It's not as it's only a third of the size.
And then you get the mother of the murdered boy, but instead it's Mrs. Simpkins comes up, and she just does the whole, like, "I just thought you should know," you know, and she's crying and stuff. And so yeah, Deke explains essentially that machines can be malicious, and that the mower is doing this on its own. Of course, nobody believes him. But he's doing this whole quint bit. He's almost like speaking in riddles, you know, being very cryptic about everything. But Roy, being Brody, is very nervous about letting the golfers out onto the course. So the course is the beach, right? And he doesn't want to leave them out. It's the 4th of July. In this instance, it's the tournament, right? The big golf tournament. They even go, which I thought this was clever. It doesn't land 100% because they try to do the scene where they go and sneak in and cut the shark's belly open in Jaws to see if the boy's inside, and they find that he's not.
Yeah. They
do the same thing here, but they go in and cut the bag open that collects the grass clippings, which is funny because you could just take it off and turn it over and empty it out it's like so you normally would.
It's so unnecessary.
But instead they pull a knife out and slice it open, which is very funny. And there's, of course, no blood and guts inside, just a bunch of grass and shit. And then a Playboy magazine falls out of it, which is the gag, I guess. But yeah, Roy says he's going to cancel the tournament. But then they're like, "Oh, this one couple. Oh, they went out. They always, you know, go out to play the back nine right, you know, before dark, and they didn't come back. They're in danger because they know now they know the mower, the murder mower is still out there." So Roy and Kelly go out.
This is
looking for them.
This is where I got kind of like just annoyed. Just another annoyance about the film, about how bad the acting is. But like, yeah, they're in this garage by themselves. And Kelly's like, oh yeah, that couple, they went out after it was left. And Roy's like, yes, okay. Did they come back? And she's like, no, I did not see them come back. And it's like, it should have been like, you could have put like a lot more emotion into that scene to make it funnier, because Roy should have been like grabbing her by the shoulders. It's like, did they come back? God damn it. Did you see them? He should have been shaking, like doing something.
If he was capable of emotion, that would have been the move.
Yeah. Because again, it's playing in that silliness of, wait, why is the golf pro so invested? If he's grabbing Kelly by the shoulders and shaking her, is like, did the Bonners come back? God damn it. Did you see them? Wait, hold up. You're still just the golf pro. What are you doing, dude? Call the cops.
Well, they go out looking for him, and they find a destroyed cart that's got all kind of blood and stuff all over it. And it's like crashed into like one of the water hazards. And they're like, well, obviously they got attacked, but the bodies are nowhere to be found. And then when they tell Osgood, or no, Kelly's the one who's like, well, they probably just got drunk and crashed the cart and walked home. And even the next day, when they're pulling the golf cart out of the water, that's what they're saying happened. Anyway, so they say, okay. Osgood's like, no, assholes, we're doing the tournament no matter what you say. And Roy says, well, as long as we can have spotters, to keep the golfers safe, so we can, if we see anything, we can alert everyone. And I don't know what that's going to do at that point, but that's what they're going to do. Get everybody off the course. It is funny though, that of course Jaws can only go in the water, of course, because he's a shark, can't come off the land, can't come on the land. This mower can only stay on the golf course. Can't travel outside the perimeter of the golf course. So it's great. So Roy and Beatrice are playing together, and Roy and Kelly are trying to keep tabs, with each other and some of the other caddies by having these big radio headsets on, these big 80s radio headsets, and they're playing golf with them on, which is hilarious. We get introduced to this character, Squire something, I forget. He's just like one of the golfers. I don't know if he's a member of the club or he's like supposed to be a golf pro, but he's a notorious cheater, and we see him cheating, dropping balls, and throwing balls on the green out of the sand trap, and just like, being a dick. And right as soon as Kelly makes this putt to take the lead over Squire, and then Squire cheats and throws his ball out of the sand trap onto the green, it goes in the hole and he wins. Just as that happens, all hell breaks loose because the mower busts out of nowhere, and Squire's legs get chewed off by the mower and drags him off. That's kind of its thing. It takes, they fall down, chews up their legs, drags them off. They eventually go and have a little heart to heart about their alcoholism and all this shit we already talked about. They go to Deke's shop to hire him, and he gives the whole Quint speech that we were talking about, like, give you 10,000, make it 20,000, and blah, blah. The only thing I was disappointed of is he didn't say, like, I'll kill it for 10, I'll bring it back alive for 20. Like, he didn't do that whole thing, which was unfortunate. But he does the haggling thing. Yeah,
we also don't get a scene of like we get a scene that is a meeting, like kind of like a town meeting.
It's like it's just the club.
Yeah, it's just the club, and like Deke's not in that scene, so he can't do the interrupting thing. Like, that's the other thing.
Do the scratch the chalkboard. I know. I couldn't believe they didn't do that. It's so easy.
Yeah, that's such an iconic thing. Like, if you're gonna do everything basically one for one. Yeah. But this is also the scene where we get our Jason reference, because he just has a guy in his tool shop doing tool shop work, and he has a Jason hockey mask on for some reason, and they call him Jason. But like what does he need the hockey mask on in the shop for?
Well, he's grinding, like he's using an angle grinder. So I get why you would have like goggles on, but he has a full old school hockey mask on.
Yeah.
And it is funny because they make it a point to use his full name. And even so much so as like, they're like, when we go get him, it's going to be me, meaning Deke. And then he's like, Roy's like, I'm going to come with you. And then it's going to be the third, which is Jason. And he keeps talking about Jason, which we never see Jason's face.
No.
And then even when Kelly's like, no, I'm coming. And he's like, he's kind of giving him the hard time, kind of like the Hooper character, right? Is like, little boy playing with test tubes your whole life, they're kind of, but he's giving him the whole, given that treatment to Kelly. And even when she's like, all right, fine, you can come. He's like, Jason, you can stay here now. Yeah. He even says like, Jason, you just stay here at the shop.
Just stay at the shop. He does before that though. He does say, all right, well, it sounds like we got a real summer camp outing, Jason. It's like, yeah, okay.
Oh yeah.
It's like, yeah, okay.
He did say that. Deke has like an arsenal of like all this military surplus type of stuff. He's got hand grenades, rifles, he's got plastic explosives, and he's got this crazy van that has like, I mean, they're using it to carry bales of hay on, but I'm not really sure why it's bales of hay. I guess it could be anything. I don't know if it's designed for that, but he's got this crazy van.
Yeah, the van is mocked up to kind of be like the tugboat in that it has like a platform for them to stand on, and then it has like fishing nets in the back just because.
Yeah.
The bales of hay I'm thinking are like supposed to be chum because the lawnmower instinctually would want to cut that up.
Cut the grass. Yeah. They tell us in a minute why they use the bale of hay. But yeah, he has this big van. It's almost like an A-team type of van where it like has like the door flies open and there's like a ramp, on the side and stuff, assuming to be able to take lawn mowing equipment in and out of. But they do basically the barrel thing. So if you remember, like they use like the harpoon gun with the barrels on it to track where Jaws is. And they want to keep him up on the surface in the movie where they want to harpoon him with a bunch of barrels that'll float so he can't dive. Right. And they can always see where he's at. But then if you remember, he's so big that he just takes the barrels down anyway.
Can go down with 3 barrels, chief.
Yeah. But in this instance, instead of barrels, he's got bales of hay with balloons on them, which is very funny. Yeah. I thought it was clever.
Yeah.
Because not only is it like chum, like we said, it's bait, he calls it. But once he eats the hay, the mower chops up the hay, the balloons are then like stuck to him for some reason. It doesn't pop the balloons. Like it just gets tangled up at him. So now you can see him coming because he has like 5 or 6 balloons tied to the mower when you see him coming. Which I thought was a funny bit.
Yeah. There is some actual like really funny stuff in the past and in the last 20 minutes of this film. There's also some cool stuff. And one of them is this shot. Like they've seeded the course with all these bales of hay with balloons. And then they come back to find, like some of the hail bays have been cut up. And then in the distance, as the sun sets, like they have this amazing backlit shot of the mower with balloons hanging off of it. And the sun is, backlighting it. And so it's all in silhouette and it's spraying like this black smoke out of the top of it. Yeah. It's like, that's actually cool. Like, what did you guys do? Like, what?
Yeah, you guys, this could have been such a good movie, and they just let it slip through the cracks because the mower, it's supposed to be funny, right? But it actually looks kind of cool. And I don't know what they do to it, but they make it so like, the exhaust pipes on tops are smoke like billowing out of it. Oftentimes there's flames, like it's like on fire, like the flames coming out of the exhaust as well. It's buzzing around, and I don't know, I've seen less threatening monsters, you know what I mean, than this mower. So they find Squire's mutilated corpse. Deke tells the story of how his father it doesn't make a whole lot of sense because you get the story of how Deke's father built the monster machine, right? The monster mower. And it was his job to, he's like, he took care of him and he changed his oil and he shined it up and he blah, blah, blah. And he worked at the course. And then they brought in these new Japanese machines and they like make it a real point to keep calling out the Japanese, that they were Japanese.
Yeah.
And his dad was fired from the course because he refused to use the new Japanese mowers. He wanted to use the old ones. So he was fired. And then the mower killed him for being fired for refusing to use the Japanese. It feels like the machine would recognize that he was on his side.
Yeah,
if you would have been like, then my father did away with them and brought in these new machines, then you would be like, okay, that's why the sentient lawnmower is upset because you replaced it.
Right.
But it sounds like he was loyal to it.
Yeah, he was loyal to. I took it, and they just weren't clear enough with it. But this whole scene is, supposed to be the stand-in for the USS Indianapolis speech. This.
Yes.
And so that's why they were hammering the Japanese part of it. I mean, also because it is the 80s, and there's a lot of like anti-Japanese sentiment running around. As we become more globalized in our economy, but he gets into finding his dad's body, and he explains it in a way that's very similar to the way Quint found bodies of his shipmates in the water. And so the way I took it was, and it just should have been more clear, his father committed suicide with the lawnmower and his spirit possessed the lawnmower. That's what it should have been. That's what should have been very clear.
Sure. That could have made more sense, but then why is he after his son?
Yeah.
If that was the case.
I don't know. Because
it's just sloppy. It doesn't make any fucking sense, which fine. It's a fucking killer lawnmower movie. It doesn't have to make a lot of sense.
We're trying to make, but if you made that movie today, they would make it make sense. That's the thing is like even dumbass movies today try to put some logic behind stuff. Unless it calls for
this, they could not have fucking cared less, or they edited something out that explained it, and then they just put it together and said, it's good enough, Yeah. But anyway, the evil mower starts attacking the van, and just smashing into it, knocking it around. They start shooting it, bunch of chaos, And eventually, Kelly throws a grenade at it, chases it off. And I love the idea of a mower being scared and running away from an explosion, which is funny. They end up sleeping in the van, and they wake up in the morning, and they can't go anywhere unless they got to change a tire because the mower popped one of the tires. And there's this like race against the clock sequence of Kelly trying to change the tire as the mower is approaching. And then they drive away just in time as she like dives onto the back, and they save her from falling into the, the jaws of the mower.
I was like, holy shit. Is that a stunt? We're an hour 20 plus into this hour 30 minute movie, and Kelly almost falls out the back of the moving van, and they are not using stunt performers in this.
No, it's Kelly.
Yeah, it's Kelly. You see her face. And I was like, holy shit, that was a stunt. And also that woman was in actual danger for a bullshit movie.
Yeah. That's what I said. I said there's some stuff in this movie that's like impressive or clever, but doesn't always mean it's good or entertaining. But you're just like, okay, I can appreciate that. It has entertaining moments, but there's plenty of stuff where you're just like, okay, that's fine. And you could tell this is a low budget movie. But I don't know. It never fully kind of comes together, but there are moments like that. You're like, oh, that was cool, So I didn't get this. The van craps out, okay, completely like, throws a fucking rod. I don't know if what happens, but it's unfixable. So they're just stuck in the van out in the middle of the course. And Kelly has brought sugar, like a pound of sugar.
Yeah.
And the plan is she's going to put the sugar in the gas tank. Now, that never comes to fruition. And I kept waiting for it to come back around. It doesn't. I mean, she brings something earlier and she's like, I brought something. Oh, what's that? Oh, just something. I had an idea I saw somewhere. Okay, well, we know what that's coming back around. We don't know what it is yet, but we know it's coming back around. Well, now they're like, well, fuck, we're stuck. And they're like, well, Kelly, what was your plan? And she's like, she opens it up. It's a pound of sugar. And she's like, what are we going to do with that? He was like, well, I read somewhere that if you put sugar in a gas tank, it'll ruin an engine. And they're like, yeah, how are we going to get it in the engine? And not only does she not have a reason, she never figures it out.
No, they never come up with a way to get the sugar in the gas tank.
Yeah, it's so strange. It's so strange. And I was like, is that a reference to something that's going over my head? But I don't know. It just feels like a weird loose end.
It feels like a weird loose end. It just makes her seem like an idiot. Because I'm trying to think there's an analog to that, but I just can't think of the reference. But like, it's just like bringing up a thing and it's like, well, what are you going to do with that? I thought maybe we could. No. No.
Yeah. It's like if you have Godzilla there and you're like, maybe he won't be so dangerous if we put this giant muzzle I have on him. And they're like, how are you going to get it on him, dumbass? Yeah. He was like, yeah. Yeah, it never comes back around. Deke, eventually the door pops open with the little ramp. The mower drives up the ramp and Deke gets the same death that Quint gets in Jaws, getting his legs chewed off and he's panicking and screaming and then he gets dragged away. So he gets the Quint death. Okay, so the next part is the biggest question mark I had in the movie. At this moment, I almost called him Quint. Deke has just died. He's just been dragged off, right? So all we have left is Roy and Kelly. And the van rolls over on its side.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, did the mower knock it over? And I rewound it. No.
Nope.
Wait, did it? And it makes this sound like the tires pop almost.
Right.
And I was like, oh, did something just happen to the tires? I rewound again. Nope. The mower just spontaneously rolls onto its side from a stationary position. And I rewatched it 3 times, and I have no fucking idea why it rolls over.
Yeah, there is no visual language as to why this happens. It
is bonkers.
It just cuts from Roy and Kelly in the van. You hear the tires pop, so you assume, okay, the tires pop on one side, changes the weight distribution. That means the mower should come from the other side and push the van over. And you capsize it like you capsize the boat in Jaws.
Yeah.
But there's no visual language for any of that. It just all happens. Nope. And then it's like, what?
Why is the van on its side? Also, if that would be like if 2 tires on a car went flat on the same side that a car, or in this case, even a van being more top heavy, that would mean the van would just roll over. And that is not how tires work or vans.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so pretty dumb, but I will say the ultimate sequence here, the way they deliver it, they do bring it home, I think, in a pretty good way, because at one point they're throwing stuff at it, and I think this was even before Deke was eaten. Deke had thrown a piece of plastic explosive on top of the mower and was trying to shoot it. And he couldn't.
Right.
Now, the mower comes back. The van is on its side. They're very vulnerable, obviously, like a capsized boat. The van is about to explode, so they decide to make a run for it because it's tipped over and it's on fire. So it's about to explode. They make a run for the lake because they're like, well, the mower can't get in the lake. So they run towards the lake. as they're getting towards the lake, Roy turns, gets a golf club, which he's had this putter with him the whole time. And it's almost like this is his good luck putter, or even Deke makes a comment of like, what are you going to beat it to death with the putter? Now, all of a sudden, he starts hitting like wedge shots with it.
Well,
and I don't know, is he using the putter?
Well, no, he's using a wedge in this.
Yeah, that's like why didn't he have a magic wedge the whole time? You know what I mean? Like, but he drops 3 balls. So of course, this is like Brody. He's got 3 bullets to hit the tank, oxygen tank in the shark's mouth. Drops 3 balls. Of course, miss. The third one hits the plastic explosives. Obviously explodes and then veers into the lake and then explodes again
in the lake.
And they've killed the mower. And then they walk off into the sunset, saying some nonsense about like, she's like, how do you like your new course? And he's like, it sucks shit or something. I don't remember what he says. Yeah. And then she's like, but I think I can learn to live with it or whatever. I don't know. And then the only thing we get during the credits is an announcement by, I don't remember. Is it?
It's Osgood.
Osgood?
Yeah, it's Osgood.
Talking about how Deke fought valiantly and Kelly and Roy, and they defeated the monster or the machine. And
all at the same time, he's taking credit for this all being his plan. He's like, they followed my plan valiantly, and Deke, even though he was a strange and confusing person, he fought valiantly. Let's give him a moment of silence. And then doesn't even give him a moment of silence. He just keeps talking,
keeps reading whatever he's reading.
Yeah. And then goes on to say like, I would have been there to help them, but I had to be like the Grand Marshal at an NRA parade, which is just a funny, stupid thing. And we're listening to the radio and we get to the very end, and there's a character we saw earlier that as Roy was doing his investigations around the course, he went OB off the course into somebody's yard. And we meet this character who's just running a hedge trimmer in his property.
Yeah.
And now we revisit that character, and he's getting yelled at by his wife. And his wife's like, they caught it. They caught the monster. They killed it. And he's like, oh, okay. And then he comes inside, drops the hedge trimmer, and then the hedge trimmer starts to spin up on its own. No.
I didn't even get that part. Tubi cut me off before that happened.
Yeah, I don't let Tubi cut me off. I tell Tubi when I'm done watching.
Yeah. Anyway, so that is Blades from 1988. Again, not a masterpiece. Not even what I would call a good movie.
No.
But it had a couple of fun moments, and I'm not sad I watched it. That is the highest claim I can give Blades. Is I'm not sad I watched it.
I'll never watch it again. But
and then we all agreed to never watch it again.
Yeah. But I don't know. If you just want to get high and watch something stupid, there you are. That's perfect for that.
You could do way worse. I've been watching some real dog shit lately, and I'll tell you a couple of them definitely worse than Blades.
Same.
Okay. Let me remind you once again, we need some suggestions for mall madness. We need horror movies that either take place in a mall or have some sort of heavily, associated thing with a mall. It sounds like, listen, if you don't want one of us to do Chopping Mall, you got to give us some other suggestions. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, or you can edit this out if you want, if I'm wrong. Have we done Dawn of the Dead?
Nope.
On the show before?
No, we have not done either of Dawn of the Deads.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Interesting. All right. For some reason, I had it in my head we had definitely done the original Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah.
But you would expect it's going to be Phantom of the Mall, Eric's Revenge. It's going to be Chopping Mall. It's going to be Dawn of the Dead. But if you got some other interesting suggestions, throw us our way because we might not know about them. Okay, Stephen, anything else we should say or do or or accomplish before we wrap up this here minisode?
Not that I can think of offhand. Go check out what our Patreon 31 Days of Horror is for specifically today. I did the Steam Next Fest happened, and that's where they debut a bunch of like different video games that are coming soon, and there is some pretty cool horror titles that I put out too. I don't know if the demos are going to be still available, but our 31 Days of Horror for today is a game that comes out on October 27th anyway, so you can pick it up. It's called The Seance at Blake Manor. That game's really cool. And then there's a couple other games like Kingdom of Night, which is like an RPG game. And then they also had the demo for the Terrifier arcade game. It's a beat 'em up. You can play as Art and the girl and
beat 'em up
and Chris Jericho's character. You can play, and the art of the art game looks like shit, and it kind of plays like shit. And I'm just like, I don't know. Somebody's getting bamboozled by somebody. I don't know. They're not charging this.
somebody got taken for a ride here. Have you seen? And I've watched a couple of just little teasers and stuff like that. The new multiplayer Halloween game.
Oh yeah.
I've seen that pop around. I don't have high expectations. Also, I don't really like play games on PC, so I probably won't play it no matter what. I'm kind of deep into Hollow Knight Silk Song right now.
Oh yeah.
Diehard fan of the original. I love a Metroidvania. Diehard fan of the original Hollow Knight, and I've been waiting for Silk Song to come out for like 6 fucking years. So I'm deep into that, which is spooky.
Yeah,
it's got some spooky-ish, spooky adjacent. Yeah. So
if you once you finish that one, if you're still, if you love that genre, and I think they're on the Switch, but the Blasphemous series.
I know you've told me about that a couple of times. That's been on my radar, and I just haven't pulled the trigger on it. But yeah, I'll get around to those. I think the sequel is on Switch. I got a Switch 2. So I'm playing on the Switch 2. I'm sure that one is around.
Yeah. But back to what the fuck? Back to that art game. Like, it looks so bad and plays kind of shit, and like it's unexcusable because there's a really good Toxic Crusaders game coming out, and nobody's clamoring for that. Everybody's clamoring for an art game, a Terrifier game, and like nobody's clamoring for that. And it's just like,
well, why'd you make art a beat 'em up? It's not like, and I like a good beat 'em up. I went and spent the money on the Ninja Turtles one when it came out, which was really, me and my kids had a blast with that. I haven't bought it yet, but I've saw the Power Rangers one that's supposed to be fun too.
Yeah.
But these are martial arts franchises,
right? Yeah, there's
like, why Art the Clown? It's not a bit, I
think they were going for kind of what's that game that I think it's Night Stalkers from back in the day.
Night Stalkers is fun.
Yeah,
but that's also like, for those of you who never played Night Stalkers, you can find it in emulators and stuff like that all over the place, and it's great. Some really cool little like cutscenes, some really creepy, crazy shit. But also the whole thing about that is the characters you play. One has robot arms. Like, you pile drive zombies. Literal giant, huge jumping Zangief spinning pile drivers to zombies. That's fun. Art doesn't do any of that.
I know. I just think that's what they were aiming for.
It would be funny though if like the bad guys are just like, people on the street, and you're going up and like slicing their back open and rubbing salt into their wounds.
Some of them are. Most of the gameplay, at least from the demo, was like fighting cops and firefighters. And there's always those scenes in those beat 'em up games where like a bunch of people run away from danger. Like it happens in the Turtles games, and like people are running down the streets, and then you head towards the danger. But in the art game, you can kill those people as they're running away from it. So like, and I think they were trying to aim for something in between like Night Stalkers, where it's like really gory, and but like, I don't know, the art looks like, the art of the game looks like shit, and just I don't know. play it at your own risk when it comes out. I don't spend more than $5 on it. I wouldn't say, like, it's just yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, you can buy Hollow Knight Silk Song for $20. And it's a fucking masterpiece. Anyway, go check out some spooky games. Give us some suggestions. It is prime time here, guys. We're into the last couple of weeks of spooky season. I've got a lot of classics to watch. I'm probably going to get into a couple of those tonight. Enjoy your spooky season. And for the Halloween is Forever crew, I'm Brian.
And I'm Steve. Not the Count Steve. That's a different Steve. I'm just regular work at home Steve.
And I'm Art. Not the Art from Terrifier. Just a guy named Art. All right, bye.
Bye-bye.